Good morning to all of you. Now we are going to discuss about variance of binomial distribution. In our previous class, we have discussed about expectation of binomial distribution. As we know that binomial distribution is the discrete probability distribution, and for discrete probability distribution, variance can be defined in this way. Variance of x equals to expectation of x square minus expectation of x whole square. Therefore, to obtain the variance of binomial distribution, we use this formula, and this can be marked as equation 1. This variance of x equals to expectation of x square minus expectation of x whole square is marked as equation number 1. Now, expectation of x square. Expectation of x square can be written as expectation of x into x minus 1 plus x, and we know a property of expectation such that the expectation of x plus y is what? Expectation of x plus expectation of y. Using this property, we can write this one like as expectation of x into x minus 1 plus expectation of x, and this can be marked as equation number 2. And let me use the definition of binomial distribution. In case of binomial distribution, expectation can be defined as the summation x into n cx p power x into q power n minus x. Here x is what? X is x into x minus 1. Therefore, it can be written as summation of x from 1 to n, x into x minus 1, n cx p power x into q power n minus x. And this one does the derivation. After simplification, we get expectation of x into x minus 1. This one will be what? N into n minus 1 into p square. We just simplify this one, and at last we get expectation of x into x minus 1 equals to n into n minus 1 into p square. And from the equation number 2, we get expectation of x square. Expectation of x square equals to what? Expectation of x into x minus 1 plus expectation of x. And therefore, we get the expectation of x into x minus 1 equals to what? N into n minus 1 into p square. And expectation of x, we have already know that the expectation of binomial distribution is what? NP. Therefore, we can write expectation of x equals to NP. And therefore, we get expectation of x square equals to this one. And hence, from the equation 1, we get a variance of x. Variance of x is what? Expectation of x square minus expectation of x whole square. And thus, we put the value of expectation of x square and expectation of x in the equation number 1. We get variance of x is what? NPQ. Thus, remember this one. That is the variance of the binomial distribution is what? NPQ. There is an important remark. We have know that the P plus Q is what? Always 1. Therefore, Q is always less than 1. And we multiply NP in the both sides, but we get NPQ less than NP. And NPQ is what? NPQ is the variance of binomial distribution. And NP is what? NP is the mean of the binomial distribution. Therefore, we get variance less than mean. That is, we can say that for binomial distribution, mean is greater than variance. This is an important characteristic of binomial distribution. Remember that. And we know that standard deviation is what? Standard deviation is the positive square root of variance. Therefore, standard deviation of binomial distribution is what? Root over NPQ, as NPQ is the variance of binomial distribution. Let me discuss an example. Examine the following statement and add your comment. The mean of the binomial distribution is 5 and standard deviation is 3. Here mean is 5 and standard deviation is 3. Standard deviation is 3. That means what? Variance is 9, because standard deviation is what? Positive square root of variance. Therefore, since standard deviation is 3, this implies variance will be 3 squared, that means 9. Here see that the mean is 5. Mean 5 less than variance, and we have find that variance always less than mean, but here we get mean less than variance. Therefore, we can say that this statement is wrong. Let us take another example of binomial distribution. For a binomial distribution, n is 10 and p is half. Find probability of x equals to 2 and probability of x greater than 1. And here see that we know that the probability mass function of binomial distribution is what? N cx p power x into q power n minus x. Here n is what? N is 10 and p is half. If p is half and q is what? Q is 1 minus p. That means q is also half. Therefore, p of x equals to x is 10 cx half to the power x and half to the power 10 minus x. X can take the value 0, 1 to up to 10. And p of x equals to 2. P of x equals to 2 means here we put just x equals to 2. And this one will be 10 c2 half to the power 2 and half to the power 10 minus 2. And after calculating, we get this one is 15 into half to the power 10. Similarly, you can find a p of x greater than 1. P of x greater than 1 means what? We always know that total probability is always 1. Therefore, p of x greater than 1 means what? 1 minus p of x equals to 0 minus p of x equals to 1. That means p of x greater than 1 means what? 1 minus p of x less equals to 1. Less equals to 1 means what? P can be x can be 0 and x can be 1. Therefore, we can write p of x greater than 1 is what? 1 minus p of x equals to 0 minus p of x equals to 1. And just use the definition of binomial distribution. You get the value will be 1 minus 11 into half to the power 10. Let's take another example. For a binomial distribution, mean is 10, variance is 0.8. Determine the distribution and also find number 1 p of x equals to 0, number 2 p of x greater than 0. We know that if x follows binomial distribution, the mean equals to np and variance equals to npq. X follow mean of the binomial distribution is np and variance of the binomial distribution is npq. Here in the example says that the distribution is binomial. Therefore, we may write mean equals to np and variance equals to npq. Here see that np is what? That means mean is what? 10. Therefore, we can write np equals to 10. And sorry, not 10. This one will be 0.1 or 1.0. And npq is what? 0.8. These two may be marked as equation number 1 and 2. And npq divided by np equals to what? This one and this one will be 0.8. This implies q equals to 0.8. If we get q, then we can easily find p. P is what? 1 minus q. 1 minus q. That means p is what? 0.2. And from 1, we get n equals to 5. Therefore, probability mass function. Therefore, binomial distribution is what? 5cx 0.2 power x into 0.8 power 5 minus x. And you can easily find the value of p of x equals to 0 and p of x greater than equals to 0. For p of x equals to 0, you just put the value of x as 0. And n is here, n is what? N is 5. And this one will be this. And this one, p of x greater than 0. This one will be what? 1 P of x greater than 0. This one will be what? 1 minus P of x equals to 0. And we have already find the value of P of x equals to 0, and this will be